Alright guys, fishing out of the drift boat today. It's not very often that you get to see any videos out of my drift boat. But my buddy hooked me up today, said he'd row me down the river, put me on some springers, maybe some steelhead. So we're gonna have a good day, we're gonna get it done, have some fun. It's supposed to be really hot today, so we'll see how that goes. But got the waders on for now, we'll see if I take them off. But it's gonna be a good day, gonna get some fish, guys. There's got to be something.
There's something in there. I mean, I've had plenty of Chinook, but he's freaking happy and I haven't really done it a ton, but it's what most do.
Come on. That was... Alright guys, in the car now. So we put the boat in this morning, as you guys saw, and fish kind of the, I wouldn't say lower half of the river, but kind of the schmeedy-ish, is that a word? Medium kind of ish part of the river in the boat, and no luck. We heard of 2 springers caught. We did hook something really fast on the bead, had it on for a minute and it came off, which we think was probably a steelhead. It could have just been like a sucker fish or something, but pulled the boat out and my buddy heading back home. So I'm gonna go up and to the very top of this river where I was in the last video and caught that big steelhead, and we're gonna go see if we can't find something here at the, scratch something out and make this video actually worth posting. There's another bobber down right there. I'm gonna miss one up there. Where's it? Hey guys, fish on. Finally, I've been working this water. This might be a summer actually. Either a summer or an old winter, but it's actually pretty bright. See what it is. Nice steelhead. too. Dang it. Just saw a good look at him. He's wild. I was hoping that'd be a nice little hatchery fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice little steely. There we go, guys. Look at that. Nice little wild steelhead. Ate that worm. I'd been fishing around these boulders with this worm and actually missed a couple bobber downs, but look at that. Pinned him in the nose. Man, I wish it was a little hatchery fish so I could keep it, have him for dinner tonight, but a beauty wild at that. Look at that. There he is. Beautiful little steely. Oh, and he flipped around like a wiener. And he's gone. Just like that. Yes. Not the release I wanted, but I set up the camera here, tried to keep him over the water, and slipped right out of my hands, and he's gone back into the river. That was awesome. Okay, so taking a breather here. It's been a long day and I am beat to death. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of recap this day. So we started out about 5 a.m. Met my friend at a boat launch, and we went to start his truck. His truck wouldn't start, and turns out his starter was going out. So, you know, we had to beat on that a bit. Got his truck started. He's like, ah, what the heck, I drove, you know, all the way down here, let's fish. Put the drift boat in. As soon as we put the drift boat in, row across, anchor up, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna rig up, you know. I got a Springer rod. I've got the center pin I'm gonna catch a steelhead on today. Setting up, and my center pin goes flopping over the side of the drift boat, and it's gone, right? Well, I ended up having the other line still in the boat off of the spool of the reel. So I start pulling on that. Well, you know, a center pin is free spooling, which means there's no drag. So as I was pulling, it was floating down the river and the spool was just spinning and spinning. So it floated down the river about, I don't know, I probably had almost 400 or 500 yards of line on there, because they're big arbor, you know, big reels. They hold a ton of line. So I probably had almost 400 or 500 yards of line on it. And yeah, and so I just kept pulling on that line till I finally hit the bottom of it and finally got to the bottom of the spool and onto the reel. Then I was able to hand line my rod up. So I saved the pin, but then from there, it was a huge mess. My line was all over, so I just cut everything, and my line was toast, so I couldn't fish with the pin. Then, you know, we fish in the drift boat. We're fishing mainly for springers to start off with. My buddy hooks one, I think it was actually a steelhead. Came off, just a couple head shakes on a bead, came off. And then it basically just got tough from there. We only saw like one fish roll. We heard a 2 fish caught. The sun came out, got really hot. It's probably about 80, 85 degrees at least right now. I'm still in my waders because I didn't really bring other shoes, and I was like, ah, what the heck, I'll stay in my waders. So I'm dying out here. So then, you know, we pulled the boat out, horrible day, we didn't hook anything. So I was like, you know, I'll go up in the canyon. I don't have my center pin. I had a bait caster with a 1 ounce bobber on it for springers. So I cut that off. Luckily, it was a light bait caster. It's only like a 8 to 17 or something. So I was able to tie up a fixed float with a shot pattern going down is what I do with the center pin. So that's the only other float I had beside the big bobber that I was fishing for spring Chinook. So cut the big bobber off, put on, grab it for you, put on a little fixed float. It's a blood run. It's 11 grams, so it's actually like 3/8 ounce. Got a couple split shot piled on the line, and then got a little pink worm. That's an addicted pink worm. I don't even know if they make that color anymore. That might have been an exclusive color in one of their drops. It's like a really dead, I don't know, washed out kind of pink. Like but I've done really good on it. Same with the beads in that color. Anyway, so tied that on, came up here, saw a steelhead. I don't know how much I got on video. Threw a spinner at it, it chased it but didn't eat it. Threw the worm at it, and immediately it grabbed it, set the hook, had it for a head shake, came off. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that fish ain't gonna bite anymore. Threw other stuff at him, he wouldn't bite, he moved out. So then I was fishing with this worm still, bobber down, set the hook, and whiffed. My worm was completely shredded, completely ripped down. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know, there's 2 fish that I've missed. Kept fishing, water's low and clear. Like I said, sun is out. Hiking through the bushes, I got stinging nettle, hopefully I don't have a hole in my waders. I got sap, all kinds of stuff on my waders. Hiking around, was fishing more like summer steelhead at this point because we're in a really canyony part of the river. Big boulders, fast water. So I was just picking these little pockets apart, and I showed you guys where I pulled that steelhead out of. So got that nice steelhead, nice little wild, I don't know, probably 6-7 pound steelhead maybe. Put up a good fight though, good little fight for him. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna come hike up here, see if I can find another spot. I'm hiking along a cliff. See, I'm on top of the cliff, water's down below. I'm hiking around on this trail kind of on the edge, and the trail gives way as I'm standing on it, and I go sliding down this cliff. I grab onto a root to stop myself from sliding down into that. Well, my rod, I had my rod in one hand, my other hand I reached up, I had the cooler in it which had my bait. I let go of that, so it went skaploosh into the river, grabbed onto a root wad, and chucked my rod with my other hand up onto the bank where I'm sitting now. Climbed up here, lost my cooler. I actually climbed down there. There's a trail on the side. Climbed down there to try and find my cooler, and it was gone. It was floating down the river. I had like 2 jars of bait in there, of eggs that I cured up, and then I had a jar of like tuna in there, tuna balls that I was using today for springers. So there goes my bait that I was planning on using the next couple of trips. So yeah, now I'm sitting on top of this cliff. I want to say absolutely defeated, but I ended up hooking 3 steelhead at the end of the day, and landed that one. So I mean, I kind of won because I landed a steelhead, but I'm beat. Sunburnt, stinging nettle. Anyway, that's my day today. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know this is a long rant. It's like 8 minutes long, but just wanted to kind of run down the day. I'm just sitting out here now, taking a breather, enjoying the beauty. And then I'll hike up to my car, get out of these waders, maybe go jump in the river down below to cool off or something. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And as always, what do I usually say? I don't know what I usually say. Anyway, see you guys later.